Black Adam came out 3 weeks ago, and I want to talk about it. All right, the first ever live movie review here on Twitch.tv. We can call it Movie Monday, even though it's a Wednesday right now. Let's talk about Black Adam, okay? Or he's over here. Let's talk about Black Adam. Kick back, crack open a ZOA, and get ready. But first, some background, all right? Some background about the movie Black Adam. It's been a long time coming, all right? The Rock approached DC like 15 years ago, looking like this, asking to be Black Adam. He obviously got laughed out of the place, and now he looks like this, way cooler and drinking ZOA. This is a real quote he said at his premiere. Black Adam has been with me for over 10 years now. That gives you the idea of how passionate I am about this project. How passionate our $7 is about this project. Warner Brothers, New Line Cinemas, DC, they have all been so incredibly supportive over the years. In 2008, when we first started talking about this, and I'm a much different man and actor than I was 10 years ago, as you can tell by the pictures. Even then, 10 years ago, I just wanted to wait for the timing to feel right. All right, he really was just waiting on this one, okay? He really wanted to be Black Adam, and he was just sitting on this egg for so long. And it feels like now, the man that I've become, all right, he's started drinking ZOA. Look at him now. He's huge. I'm able to bring a little bit of my own life lessons and philosophies and ingrain them in the DNA of this character. That's fucking right. So was it good? No. The movie was not good. Black Adam was not a good movie. But also, it was a good movie. Yes, it was. But not really. Let's talk about the problems, all right? A lot of problems with this movie. I have a lot of issues with it. Also, spoilers, obviously, from now on. The first problem is everything's wrong. What's wrong with the film? Everything. Everything's fucking wrong with it. First thing I noticed, not enough ZOA. Not enough ZOA representation going around the main cast, all right? Also, two, there was no sex scenes. But the actual problems is the story fucking sucks, all right? That's just problem number one. The story is just dumb as shit. It is everything wrong with like every bad movie ever. Like every bad movie trope ever is in this movie. And for some reason, it kind of works because it's just kind of funny. And I think if The Rock wasn't in here and he wasn't slamming ZOAs every night, this movie would be actually awful. This would be like the worst movie of the year. The story takes place, it starts out in this 5,000 years ago when God first created the earth in this city called Conduct, right? There's this evil king, and he's really obsessed with fucking methamphetamines, all right? And the methamphetamines are like in the ground. And so he makes everyone a slave, and he turns everyone into Minecrafters, and they start mining through the ground looking for this meth. And everyone hates their lives, obviously. You know, they don't get to have the meth. There's this kid, right? And so he decides to like steal a little bit of the meth, all right? And he runs away, and then he's caught, obviously. And they're gonna execute him. He's like 10 years old, and they're gonna just fucking execute this kid. And the king's like, yeah, dude, fucking blick that kid off the planet, all right? I don't want to see him. Right before they kill him, they Shazam and all of his like fucking IRL role-playing buddies save this kid. They're like, yo, bro, we saw what you did back there. We saw that you're drinking ZOAs. They give him the power of Black Adam. They turn him into a wizard. They say like, hey, come role play with us. And so he does. And so he role plays with them, and he becomes Black Adam. And then that's pretty much it. That's like the backstory. And so it's a rocky start, I'd say, but nothing's necessarily bad yet. It's just kind of silly and goofy. Here's the thing where it gets really bad, is that the main plot device driving everything is this crown. All right, let's just back up. So the king is making everybody dig up this meth to build a crown out of it, okay? And this crown is special. Nobody knows why. The movie never tells you why. It just is. When you place the crown on your head, they're like, hey, you get the power of eternity. Wait, that's not a power. But basically, this crown that nobody knows what it does, It just exists, and so everybody's after it. Everybody's like jostling for it. Okay, let's back up a little bit. Let's back up a little bit more, okay? The story sucks because there is nothing pushing the plot forward besides, one, the heroes don't like Black Adam because he's like an enhanced superhuman, right? They're like, yo, Justice Society, which is like Hawkeye, or not Hawkeye, Hawkman, Dr. Fate, Atom Smasher, some tornado girl. I don't remember her name. They said it like one time. They're like, sure, okay, we'll go handle him, all right? He's some special person. They like already know of the Black Adam like myth. And Conduct is like taken over now, not by an evil king, but a bunch of these fucking oil barons. I don't even know. They're like called Inner Gang. I don't know. They're like some futuristic people that are like, they're humans, but they're just like mining shit because they're looking for the crown of Sabak too, because they really want it, even though they don't know what it does either. Nobody knows what it does. That's like the parallel, right? Is it used to be ruled by an evil king and everybody's slaves, but now it's like under occupation of this inner gang and everybody just lives a shitty life. That's basically all it is. Is the heroes fighting Black Adam for an hour and a half, and then the bad guy puts on the crown and becomes the literal devil. I'm not even kidding. He's got the Pentacrest and everything. It's not even called the Pentacrest. I don't even know what it's fucking called. Okay, the twist in this movie is fucking awful. So in the beginning of the film, there's like these 4 normies looking for the crown, and they already know where it is because the main lady knows where it is. I don't know. She just knows exactly where it is. And so should they go there? But one of the guys is a little sketchy. The twist is bad because he's the bad guy, right? He's the bad guy and he wants the crown. He's like in charge of everything somehow, some way. He just is. And he wants this crown and he finally gets the crown. He reveals that he is the long lost ancestor of the king, right? He basically took a 23andMe DNA test and somehow found out that he was related to the king. I don't, like, what? Why the fuck would that happen? In what universe? But he dies putting the crown on. But then he vaporizes, gets killed by Black Adam, like, right away. And then they're just kind of chilling. And they're like, shit, okay. That was weird. On the crown, there's, like, this engraving stuff. And the main lady that can read the language says, like, life is the way to death. But the bad guy said death is the way to life at the end. And the whole gang was like, shit, bro, what did he mean by that? What did he mean by that? I'm trying to get a little deeper into that sauce. And so they're looking at the crown, right? They're on the ship, and the lady is like, I got it. They used to call hell the mirror of reality. Like, obviously, like, how do you not know that? What she does is they turn the crown upside down and then mirror the letters, which I don't think works. The story, it goes farther beyond that, but I've talked too much about the story. Number 2 is the licensed music, okay? Now, here's the thing. And it's not necessarily the music itself, but it's more like how the music is used in the film. It's the editing that really got me. The music editing is what this should say. They use, I'm pretty sure, 3 licensed songs. They use Paint It Black by Rolling Stones, Power by Kanye West, which aged horribly, and then they used the theme from The Good and the Bad and the Ugly. There's this thing about editing, right? Where you're like not supposed to notice it's there. Like, that's good editing. But sometimes you want to draw attention to the edits, right? Like, sometimes it helps communicate a message across, but also you have to do the same thing with music. The way the music is edited here is that people will be walking or talking, and then fucking Power by Kanye will just start playing. Just out of nowhere. And it takes you so far out of the film, and it's so poorly edited and put into the film that I hate it so goddamn much. The next issue is children actors. So this movie has a child actor in it. It's this jokester right here. Okay, he's not that bad. Like, he's not like necessarily a bad actor. This is just more like I hate children actors in general. This kid, he does a fine job. He has some really stupid moments in the film. He has this really bad scene where he's supposed to be uplifting and inspiring this like crowd of fucking strangers. it's such a bad scene for one reason, is that they dubbed over his voice so poorly. He like whispers his lines here. Next one is the normal people. In superhero movies, I don't like normal people. I like my superhero movies to have superheroes in them, not normal people. But they're super boring and they're super unfunny, and I just hate every scene that they deals with them. And we don't know anything about them besides like 2 things. But the thing is, I'm fine if we don't focus on the normal people, but hopefully we can focus on the important people, the superheroes. That's right, the Justice Society, aka the remaining cast members. The sad thing is that in the 2 hour and 5 minute runtime of this movie, we don't know anything about these fools, all right? They don't talk about them. They have no character arcs or developments. I don't know this woman's name. That's Atom Smasher, and he's just like a comic relief who is like barely funny, not really. None of these guys are important, and we know nothing about them. And they could dive into the history of like Hawkman and how he has here and how he has fucking wings, but instead we don't know anything and we don't get anything. Those are just some of my issues with it. Basically my main issues. Everything else is probably either small. The rest of the movie though I liked. Dwayne The Rock Johnson's pretty cool. He drinks ZOA. So final score, 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10 because I think it's a funny movie, but also I think anyone can have a good time watching it. It's not a good movie. Like, it's not good at all, but it's like it's like, hey, The Rock's in this movie. It's whatever film. I would recommend go seeing it once in your life before you die.